Ebenezer Scrooge learned to protect himself from the world's pain by shifting his priorities. He discovered that with the accumulation of wealth, there is also an accumulation of power. And so he devoted his life to collecting as much wealth as he possibly could so he would never be hurt by anyone again. His priorities shifted from loving others to serving his own interests. The priorities of Israel had also changed. As the people became more and more prosperous, they no longer cared about God. God's demand for righteous living seemed irrelevant to Judah. Her security and wealth made her complacent. I think if Scrooge were here, he would share with us that the root of his problems came when his priorities began to shift. He might try to explain to us that we are born with an overwhelming abundance of joy, but somewhere along the line, many of us find that joy being leached out of our spirits because we have made the choice, for whatever reason, to shift our priorities away from loving God and serving others. We worry ourselves over the price tag of the present rather than the sentiment behind it. We live a life of paranoia, sure that everyone is out to take advantage of us, and so we never open ourselves up to others. We buy into the big lie that if we can just make enough money, then things will be better and we'll be happy once again. But it never seems to happen, does it? In fact, it would seem that our efforts to pile up enough wealth only turn us into more sad and bitter people than we already are. But Scrooge would also tell us about his regret that instead of accepting the invitation of his niece and nephew for a Christmas get-together, he preferred to fill his time with counting his money and poring over his finances. All around him, people were celebrating Christmas, and he could only fill his days with the mundane routines of tabulating his wealth. It would seem that the people of Israel had also filled their lives with all kinds of empty routines, but theirs were routines of religion. They either busied themselves with fulfilling the letter of the law, or they spent much of their time trying to figure out how to get around it. There are some people that think they will find joy through their busyness, through filling their lives with empty routines that make them feel as if they've accomplished a lot of things. And through their accomplishments, they hope for joy. I think it's especially easy to get caught up in the busyness of the holiday season. We rush from store to store, snatching up the cheapest bargain we can find. We fill our calendars with holiday parties and citywide events. We make our ways to church for its Christmas Eve service, and then we pat ourselves on the backs for having accomplished so many good things. We fill our lives with so much busyness that we never get around to slowing down to the experience of deep inner peace and joy. We miss it altogether. But there's hope. There's always hope, isn't there? After the visit from the ghosts of Christmas present, Christmas past, and the Christmas yet to come, Ebenezer Scrooge lived out the rest of his life joyfully. He managed to shed his grumpy bah humbugs in favor of a warm holiday greeting to everyone. He sends a turkey to the Cratchits and gives Bob a raise, atoning for his previous bitterness toward his clerk. And he continues to help the Cratchit family out, and in fact becomes a second father to Tiny Tim. It would seem that for Scrooge, although weeping lingered through the night, joy came in the morning. And the prophet Zephaniah also promised a new day for the people of Israel, a day of joy and laughter and singing and praises. You see, it's never too late for joy. if we can manage to stop this season and see where we are and make the decision to let go of those things that may be blocking the upspringing of joy in our lives, then we can experience abundant joy. It is my hope that you and I do just that. I hope that you are able to take a few minutes to remember a good time in your life, a joyful and innocent time. And after you do, if you think things are different now, think about what it is that may have sapped you of that joy. Was it misplaced priorities? Did you simply fill your life with busyness? And once you've taken stock of your life, then reclaim that joy. An unspeakable joy that comes from God and God alone. And may God bless us. God bless us, everyone. Amen.